So it's just now hitting me that I started this channel almost 7 years ago, back in 2017, and all I did was make prediction videos on what would eventually become the Trench era. So today I'm putting back on that metaphorical theorist hat because I want to predict the next couple singles off of the Clancy album. When figuring out what the next single could be, I think it's really important to look back onto the band's history. This is a band that puts a lot of emphasis on tradition and what worked with them in the past. So I'm going to be basing these predictions on their past behavior and their past cycles, because Clancy, as you may know, is coming out on the 9th anniversary of Blurryface. Speaking of Blurryface, let's start there. Tyler and Josh actually released 4 songs leading up to the Blurryface release. We have Fairly Local, which was released on March 17th, 2015, which was also the leading single off of the album. Second comes Tear in My Heart, released April 6th of 2015. And Tear in My Heart was followed by Stressed Out, which was released on April 28th, 2015. So 2 songs released in April. And finally, we have Lane Boy, which was released on May 4th, 2015, just about 2 weeks before Blurryface dropped. So if we think about it, there were actually 4 singles promoting Blurryface before the full album was released. And this leads me to my first prediction. We are actually going to be getting 4 lead singles for Clancy. I will point out, Clancy does have less songs than Blurryface. It has 13 tracks opposed to Blurryface's 14 tracks. But I genuinely believe that we are going to be getting 4 singles leading into Clancy's release. Fast forward 3 years to 2018, we can see that Trench followed the same formula, releasing 4 lead singles before Trench's proper release. We had Jumpsuit and Nico and the Niners releasing on July 11th, aka my birthday, best day ever, followed by Levitate, and then eventually My Blood. Now, Scaled and Icy is the only album since Blurryface that has defied this pattern. But I do have to point out that Scaled and Icy had a much shorter promotion and marketing scheme compared to Blurryface and Trench. Shy Away, the lead single, was released on April 7th, 2021. The full album of Scaled and Icy was released just a couple months later on May 21st, 2021. And the only reason why I point that out is that Scaled and Icy really did only have 3 lead singles to promote the album before its release. But once again, I'll point out that it had a much shorter marketing cycle than Blurryface and Trench. But with Clancy, we can see that the lead single, Overcompensate, came out on February 29th, and the full album is going to be released on May 17th. So from that information, we can infer that Clancy will also have 4 lead singles. Okay, so that's my first prediction explained. It's out of the way, it's over with. Let's move into which songs I actually believe will be releasing before we get the full album. And I'm also going to throw release dates in there as well. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. I'm probably going to be wrong on these, but in the case that I'm right, buy me a coffee. Okay, so Overcompensate was released on February 29th of this year, and Next Semester released 27 days later on March 27th. Because of this, I'm going to predict that the next single is going to drop between April 23rd and April 25th. But let's just pick an exact date, you know, just for the fun of it. So I'm going to say it's going to drop on the 23rd. And I'm going to predict that the 3rd single is either going to be Backslide or Midwest Indigo. If I were to actually definitively pick one, I'd probably say Backslide. The reason I say this is due to the lore implications. Overcompensate started to set up the final battle between Clancy, the Bishops, and the Banditos. Clancy is overcompensating and is confident that he'll be able to take out the Bishops. But I think Backslide is going to be kind of like a wake-up call to the character of Clancy, and it's going to remind him that he's still equally susceptible to the Bishops and their crushing anxiety, doubt, and depression. Even though Clancy has taken a few steps forward in this battle, I think he's going to find himself taking a couple steps back. He's going to realize that he can't do this on his own. Even though he's been educating the Banditos and the citizens of Dima to take down the Bishops, he's still going to need to heavily rely on them as a support system to end up victorious at the end of the day. In the lyrics and music video of Backslide, we're going to see Clancy kind of get smacked around by the Bishops a little bit. And through that experience of getting knocked down a couple pegs, Clancy is going to fully understand the importance of community when facing these battles. He can't just overcompensate and go in solo. For the next single, I think it's going to drop the week that Clancy debuts. I'm predicting that the 4th single is going to be either releasing on May 13th or May 14th. Kind of like how Saturday was released just 3 days before the full album of Scaled and Icy. It's going to really get that hype generated, and it's going to snowball into Friday when the full album drops. And the song that's going to drop during that time frame is going to be the most radio friendly of the 4 lead singles. It's going to get a lot of plays and views and will build hype for Clancy. I think it's either gonna be vignette or snapback. And for whatever reason, my gut is telling me that it's not gonna be a lore related music video. Because I'm predicting that this song will be the most radio friendly off of the album, I think the music video will appeal to the masses as well. It's not gonna have crazy lore. I think it's just gonna be a really fun music video of Tyler and Josh just having swagger and relishing where they're at in their career and looking back on all their accomplishments. And building off of that music video prediction, I think that the pilots are going to be telling the story of Clancy through the entire era. Especially with 14 music videos, I think that the next music video that we're gonna get for single 3 will set up the conflict between Clancy and the Bishops, and will finally show the Bishops for the first time in this era. And in Backslide, it's really gonna show the inner turmoil of the character of Clancy and how he's kind of being torn in 2 different directions. But I truly believe they're gonna keep us in suspense throughout the entire era. Just think back to Scaled and Icy and how that era played out. We really didn't get a lot of answers in terms of how it connected to the overall story until Saturday and The Outside. And those music videos weren't even released until months and months after the debut of Scaled and Icy. Because this is the final album in the Demas storyline, I really think they're gonna draw out how this all concludes. And I genuinely am excited about that. I don't want them to reveal too much too soon. I want this project to be an ongoing story that eventually ends with the final music video, Paladin Straight. I mean, it's been confirmed that that song is literally 6.5 minutes long. So there better be a music video that backs that up. And I believe that that music video, which will probably be released maybe a year and a half from now, will tie up all the loose ends and will give us the definitive ending of the story. I mean, Josh did confirm in an interview that fans will debate certain nuances to the ending, but that will be the end and the official bookend of this story, the Paladin Straight music video. But that's everything. Those are my predictions. I want to hear yours. I know this video will probably become obsolete by the time that Clancy comes out, but I just had to throw these ideas out there and just get the conversation started. What do you think are going to be the next singles? How many singles are we going to receive? Let me know in the comments below. I'm excited to read all of your theories. If you like what I do, fuel my next video while supporting my caffeine addiction, buy me a coffee. The link is in the description. As always, call somebody today, whether that's a friend or a family member. You may be saving their life. This is Jake with Stolen Potential, and I will see you when I see you.